Marco Jacobs Media.
Okay, folks, take some questions from the floor and then take some from back online.
Hi, Coach Leo. Just commiserations on the defeat. Tough night at office for you guys. Very few little opportunities you guys had out there. Very few, 22 injuries as well. Just unfortunate bad office or bad at the office, unfortunately for you guys. The Storm is played really well. Yeah. What do you have to say about that? Sorry.
You've answered the question there. You've summed it up in one question. Listen, we're poor now. We're second to everything. Had a chance to start the game. Listen, we get a 22-metre entry right from the start. Misfire, Stormers goes the other end of the field. We just didn't have enough access in the game. So set piece misfired at times. Stormers went to the air, and literally every breaking ball, there must have been over a dozen, maybe even more. And they were just winning those breaking balls the whole time, and we just get more possession. And we just weren't active enough across the course of the game. So really disappointed. Listen, you work through pre-season, and listen, I can make excuses here about what we haven't played. A lot of guys playing their first game of the season. It's not a huge amount we could have done with that, but listen, I still thought we would have been better. We know it's tough coming down here at the start of the season. We know obviously a lot of the South African teams have been playing in Curry Cup, particularly the latter rounds, so they're maybe just that bit more battled and hardened than we were. But because we didn't start the game well, we were seated just on the back foot the whole game, and we just never really showed any composure, which is disappointing. So this is round 1 of 18. 0 points, 35-0. It's credit to the Stormers, they were just far better than we were today. So
what can you take for next week against the Bulls? It's another tough ask. I felt as well. So what can you actually take from this game?
I'm not taking a huge amount from this game. Probably more just what we have delivered in previous seasons, and some of the quality that's in this. And I know we've got quality in our group, so just dust yourself off and you go again. Bottle up a little bit of the pain of that, because listen, nobody likes going through that type of defeat where you lose 35-0. So, and I said, I struggle to remember the last time that's happened to us.
Coach, first off, I think Stormers showed a lot of respect to you guys, kicking for goals. I mean, there was a penalty 55 meters out, and if you look later in the game, the lineup was very dominant. So I think there was a lot of respect shown to you guys as the defending champions. Also, like a lot of territory, I don't know the stats, but probably 70-80% of territory went to the Stormers. Just for you in terms of half-time, still being in the game, 6-0 down, that try being disallowed. What is your message to the boys? Because obviously you guys are season campaigners, your guys' systems are running smooth. You're not a lot of individual brilliance, but obviously you guys rely on system. So just in terms of half-time, what was the feeling in the camp? What was the message to the team?
Yeah, like I said, I thought we were just a little bit second in all the contact points, really. So whether we're carrying into double shoulders from Stormers, and they were knocking us back, and even just that little bit of a barge. So pressure on Luke trying to deliver the ball at 9. And so I thought they were, we were a little bit high in some of our contact work as well. So there's Stormers are always getting a bit of momentum, and then the aerial battle as well. But we start the second half, and it's a little bit the same again. So. A little bit better, I thought, in some of the contacts in the second half. But again, because of some of the access points that they're getting from breaking balls, and listen, once they had their 7-22, I think they went to the maul, and we lose Max to the bin, and obviously we're down to 13 men, and unbelievably hard to try and chase the game with 13 men. So we just lost control of the game in that period. And listen, I know we're behind at that point already, but listen, 16-0, suddenly you're going to 23 and 13-0, and listen, the game was up. So. It's disappointing. We're only back to 15 players for the last 2 minutes. You know what I mean? So, and that's the challenge for us. So it's just that momentum piece, and we were, unfortunately, as the game went on, just the momentum kept coming on top of us. And credit the Stormers, because they had us in a stranglehold, really, didn't they? Particularly in that second half.
Cappy, just from your perspective, the coach mentioned you guys are used to having control of the game, dominating the momentum. What would you, if you find yourself in this position again, or maybe next week, hopefully it doesn't happen, but let's say you get to that position, the stranglehold is on, you guys are not getting momentum, What can you guys adapt? What can you guys change? Because obviously with us in Cape Town, we've got the X-Factor players. Warwick Geland didn't play and a lot of guys at the box. But that's what we have. Sibelo Sunatla, I mean, coming from an injury, coming back, man of the match. So we've got that type of players. But for you guys, being system orientated, what is something that you guys can maybe tweak or get different when you find yourself here again?
Well, to be honest, the system probably only works if we're physical, and I thought we got physically dominated today. If I was being really honest, they got over the game line much easier. Our defence, we made a lot of mistakes in defence, which put us under pressure. Then we kept on giving away penalties, and like you say, in the second half, when they get into the 22, they're a very hard team to stop. So look, it's very hard to take a few things from this game. We're very, very disappointed. It's a pretty quiet change room down there, as you can imagine. But look, we're going to have a good hard look for yourselves, like Leo said. There's a lot of rugby to play in this season. But look, it doesn't get any easier going for Bulls next week, as you know. So we're going to have to turn it next week and see what it means to each other for next week.
Thanks, good luck, guys.
Sorry to go. It was 6-0 at half time, so despite the mistakes, it was still pretty close. What was the real problems around the set piece, scrum wise, and line outs? It was a relatively winless evening. What were the problems there?
I don't know, for, as I said, like for a lot of guys, it's their first game of the season, so and that's the challenge for this group that we have. The guys away on a tour at the end of the season, and listen, obviously both teams are missing players at this stage of the season, we know. So a little bit of that cohesion part, and then when you miss the first couple of lineouts as an example, then a bit of pressure comes on, and I thought the Stormers did a good job in terms of their line of defence, but some of it is, a lot of that is in our own control, so just making sure we have a good week now, turn the page quickly into Bulls, because it's just one of those games you just want to move on from pretty quickly.
Okay, very good. Okay, folks, have we any questions from the laptop?
Hi Leo, Rory here, how's it going?
Hi, Rory.
Sorry, bad question. The week ahead, like you mentioned, like you're a long way from home, you've got a lot to digest after that. What's the kind of way you'll deal with it? Like, do you park it and move on? How deep do you go into it? Because you've got to perform again this time next week, or on Saturday next week.
Yeah, listen, the players are all saying the right stuff in the dressing room. Listen, they know what's gone on there, so yeah, it's the best intentions going into a game, and then this is your first game of the season. You're like, oof, there's a whole different level out there. So we know it's tough over here. You know, if you're not winning contact points or gaining some level of pressure on the opposition, which we didn't really apply any pressure at any stage. Actually it was 6-0 at half time, where we were probably hanging in there. Stormers could be probably further in front in the first half. But I thought the guys hung in well. But then we're not particularly accurate in terms of how we chase the game after that. So yes, listen, there's a ton of things we need to work on. Over here, it's set piece battle is going to be huge. So making sure we win a big battle or big week in terms of how we prepare set piece wise. And yeah, just in terms of a lot more accuracy across the board, and as Mickey said, just in terms of some of that contact work as well. So yeah, lots of work this week. So we'll be up in Pretoria, we're there for a full week, climatised altitude and all the rest. And let's need to show they're made of. We all need to show they're made of, players and coaches.
It looks at the other coach. Is there enough time between, enough training time between now and next week to get to that level that the Stormers brought tonight?
You hope we'll be better for a game, so regardless of what game it is, but and that was, you talked about Den Grayson, it was always going to be a tricky challenge for us to start the season, isn't it? Coming away to South Africa, a lot of guys haven't played, first game of the season, all the rest, so and we've come well and truly second best there today, so there's no point sugarcoating any other way, is there? So we just were off the pace in lots of different areas in the game, so what can we do? We can continue to work hard this week and put in a decent training week and put in a hopefully much better performance. So we'll watch the Bulls tomorrow, see how they go. Obviously a long game next week, and as I said, we'll have a full week up there, and hopefully put in a much better performance. And yeah, there's plenty of travelling support that we had there, so put in a better performance for those people that have paid good money to come and support the team.
Thanks Leo, thanks Luke, safe travels.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks folks.
Leo, okay, just one thing. Sometimes Leinster fly out players in midweek or anything like that. I don't mean any fly out, sometimes you have it planned. And is Jamie Osborne with you? You suggested he was going to be with you when we spoke to you, Greystones.
Yeah, no, he didn't travel in the end, so Tommy Clarkson is here, but not Jamie.
Okay, and then there was no plans to fly anybody out, like routine plans. Sometimes you've done that.
No, we have the game that we have, so we're not
Yeah, that's okay.
at this point, Jim. I'll get the medical checks just in case. I think pretty much we have what we have.
Yeah. Okay, thanks very much. That was
Thanks,
just.
Eric. That's okay. Understandable question.
Alright, thanks folks.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.